In this pair, Ted-Jan Blumen from Alberta, from the national team, has scratched. So we have Tyler Kane of the US solo in the outer pair. Kane opens in a time of 10.42. Feeling uneasy on that corner, he puts his hand down, touches the ice. Looks strong coming to the end. Finishes with a time of 36.85. Pair number 33 just has a false start, called back to the line. And that was the outer lane with false start, Frank Roth. Frank Roth opens in 10.4 on the outer, and Ryanton of Norway opens in 10.4. The guys coming to the end here. We have Ryanton 37.16 and Roth 37.72. A small break here, possible ice repair. See one of the refs down the first straightaway here pointing at something. So we have our ice maintenance crew coming out to fill up the hole. In this situation, the skaters just try to stay warm, stay loose, and try not to get distracted by this delay. The ice repair crew uses a fire extinguisher for the cold air to freeze that slush as fast as possible. And looks like we're cleared to go. On the inner here from Quebec is David Leroux. And on the outer from Mongolia is Yalit Zorigs Batar. Oh, and a false start. Looks like that was David on the inner. He jumped the gun a bit. Now the guys have to sit in, make sure they don't have a false start on the second chance here. And they're off to a clean start. Leroux opens in 10.34 and Zurich Batar in 10.17. David Leroux was one of the junior skaters that went to Junior Worlds this year in Helsinki, doing fantastic. He had some top 10 finishes and actually was on the podium in the team sprint. He finishes with a time of 36.43 and Zaritz Batar in 36.66. Leroux's happy with that time and gives his coach a high five. Pair number 35 has Jonas Christensen from Norway on the inner and Antoine Jelena Beaulieu from Quebec on the outer. A good clean start, and it looks like Christensen is smiling off the line. He opens in a time of 10.26 with Jelena Beaulieu 10.44. Beaulieu makes a move on that last corner. Looks like he's going to finish first with a time of 36.51 and Christensen 36.71.
Up next, this is pair 36, Max Halleck in the inner lane and Kevin Merkinton in the outer. And it's Mercanton taking the opener, 10-2, 10-5 for Max Halleck. As they cross over on the backstretch, Mercanton getting a good draft as they enter the last corner. And Kevin Mercanton from Sweden is going to take this race. His final time as he crashes across the line, 37.74. Sorry, 36.89, 37.74 for his pair, Max Halleck. As Kevin Mercanton crosses the final time of 36, crashing across the line. And he's slowly picking himself off the ice. So now our ice technicians and referees will inspect the ice, make sure that it is ready to go for the next pair. Up next will be pair 37, Bin Zhao from China and Guillaume Labbé du Québec. So 36 pairs down so far in this men's 500 meter at the Canada Cup number 4 finale competition. There are 88 pairs of men's 500. This is the biggest competition of the year here at the Oval. Skaters come from all over the world to race on the fast ice in March here at the Oval. So far, the fastest time posted this morning, 34:61 by Alex Boisvert-Lacroix. Will Dutton was right behind him, 34:70. 34:94 for Mikkel Mulder. The Olympic Oval has seen some of the fastest times ever skated in this distance. Only a few weeks ago, the World Sprint Championships were held here. Fastest times that weekend were in the low 34s. The world record in this distance is 33:98. That's held by the Russian Pavel Kalishnikov. He is the first and only skater to have skated under 34 seconds in the 500 meter. The old world record was set by a Canadian, Jeremy Weatherspoon, 34:03, which was broken a couple of years ago. And it looks like we are ready to move on to pair number 37. Zhao Bin from China in the inner lane. Guillaume Labbé from Quebec in the outer. And these guys are off for 500 meters down the opening stretch. Looks like Labbé has a slight advantage through 100 meters. His opening split, 10:45, 10:49 for Zhao. As they cross over in the backstretch. This is a tight race so far. As Guillaume Labbé is struggling to hold that inner corner, coming out neck and neck. Zhao Bin with a slight lead. His final time, 36:85, 37:14 for Labbé. That was pair 37. Pair 38 is up next. Cody Miller from Alberta in the inner lane. And Brage Bortnes from Norway in the outer. So a clean start in pair 38. This is Miller and Bortnes. Skaters coming to the line. Neck and neck. Looks like it's Cody Miller who will take that one. 10:22, 10:41 for Brage Bortnes. As they cross over on the backstretch. Miller had the slight lead through 100 meters. Let's see if he can hold it through the lap as he comes out ahead. Miller will drive to the line looking strong. Final time of 37:12, 37:41 for Bortnes. Up next in the inner lane, we have Justin Stelly from the United States of America. He's racing Adrian Hannigan from Alberta in the outer lane. Clean start for both skaters in this pair. Hannigan with a slight lead through 100 meters. His opening split, 10:39, 10:55 for Stelly. Both skaters trying to stay low and driving on this backstretch. As they enter the last corner, always tough to hold the last corner at speed in the 500 meter. Adrian Hannigan having a slight slip on that straightaway. That might have cost him the race as Justin Stelly will cross in the lead. His time, 37:30, 37:36 for Adrian Hannigan. Up next in pair 40, we have Cale Hillis from Alberta in the inner lane and Alamasi Kiahanbai from China in the outer. Quick start for both skaters. Cale Hillis, a short track skater, just finished his short track season last weekend in Montreal. He's here to close out the year with a long track race. His opening split, 10:3, quite respectable. Kiahanbai, 10:5. As you see them crossing over on the backstretch into the final corner. Watch the corners of Cale Hillis as he actually goes down. Couldn't handle the wide corners on the long track. His final time, 36:93, but Kiahanbai will take it, 36:44. Impressive recovery from Cale Hillis in that last race. He took a knee but got back up. As we get a shot of our ice technicians here at the Olympic Oval, double checking the ice to make sure there are no grooves or pits after that almost fall from Cale Hillis. So there'll be a short delay of a couple minutes as they fix the ice. You watch him filling that hole with snow from a bucket. They will then pour water on it and then flash freeze it. Our next pair will feature Engsu Chen from China and Jean-Christophe Lataille from Alberta. Both skaters will be trying to stay warm here after an unexpected delay before their race. Since the last flood, this is the second ice repair we've had to wait for. Let's get a look at the Chinese skater on the inner lane, trying to stay warm, moving his legs. So this finale competition is the last competition of the season here at the Olympic Oval. Often this is the last competition of the season for most skaters. There's usually a big party on Sunday night. So we are just under halfway through the pairs of this men's 500 meter. 88 total pairs of men racing this morning. And it looks like we're ready to go here for pair number 41. This is Engsu Chen from China in the inner lane, racing JC Latai from Alberta in the outer. And they're underway quickly. Neck and neck through 100 meters. 10-4, 10-5 openers. So JC Latai, the slight lead through 100 meters. Let's see if he can make that work for him on this backstretch. See, it looks like he got a little bit of a draft. If he can hold this last corner, he'll be looking at a good finish. So JC Latai will finish his final time, 36.91. Chen Engsu ties him right at the line, 36.91 as well. So neck and neck in that last race. Chen and Latai tying to the line. As we look at our next pair, this is pair number 42, Keegan Christ and Katsuhiro Karatsubo. Karatsubo takes the opener, 10:22, 10:46 for Christ. Keegan Christ, another short track skater. Watch the corners of these short track skaters. They tend to be able to build lots of speed. It's all they do in short track speed skating. And they're going to come to the line. Keegan Christ, valiant effort to catch up. But it's just not enough. 37.08 for Karatsubo, 37.13 for Christ. Up next, we have Peter Van Velde from the Netherlands in the inner lane, and Robert Winter from Alberta in the outer. Both skaters clean off the line. Robert Winter with an advantage through 100 meters, 10:45 his opener, 10:75 for Van Velde. Robert Winter with the fast opener on the outer, setting himself up for a good crossover. Let's see if he's got the energy to finish this race as he struggles to hold that last inner. And Van Velde will move ahead now at the finish. 37.43 for Winter. Up next, we have Alec Janssens from British Columbia in the inner lane. And he's racing Shiwei Wang from China in the outer. And a false start. And it looks like that was Alec Janssens. Yes, the white flag is up. So Alec Janssens jumping the line early. Alec Janssens is known for false starting. It's common to see him false start 5 to 6 times a year. So with one false start, that means that there is now a warning to the field. If either skater false starts on this next attempt, they will be disqualified. And they're off. Alec Janssens and Shiwei Wang. Janssens hunting a time of 37.7. Wang is chasing a personal best of 37.4. Shiwei Wang is looking good here as he comes out of the last corner with a big lead over Alec Janssens. He's looking strong to the line. His final time, 37:11. That's a personal best for Shiwai Wang. Alec Janssens, 38:12. Up next in the inner lane, we have Sander Mikkelsen from Norway. He's racing John Hrinchuk from Manitoba in the outer. These skaters are off. It looks like Mikkelsen has the lead through 100 meters. His opening split, 10:01. Fast opener for Sander Mikkelsen. John Hrinchuk, 10:4. No slouch either. As they cross over on that backstretch, Sander Mikkelsen with a fast opener. Let's see if he can hold that lead to the finish. And he's got a big lead over John Hrinchuk. Sander Mikkelsen will finish with a final time of 36:88. Big personal best for him. His previous time was a 37:5. 38:4 for John Hrinchuk. Up next, we have another Manitoba-Norway face-off. In the inner lane, Stefan Waples. In the outer lane, Magnus Nordfum. Waples and Nordfum underway. Nordfum's going to take this opener on the outer. Opening split 10:4, 10:7 for Waples. Waples, a long-distance skater. 500, definitely not his specialty. As they cross over on that backstretch. Looks like Nordfum will hold a slight lead down this final straightaway, though Waples is going to do his best to catch up. Magnus Nordfum will take this one. 37:75, 38:02 for Waples. This is pair 47. Magnus Hauglie from Norway in the inner lane. Alexander Horst from Saskatchewan in the outer. Seems like every pair here this morning features one Canadian and one international skater. This is often done deliberately to give the skaters a chance to race new people. Magnus Hauglie took that opener 10:6, 11:1 for Horst. And Magnus Hauglie will take this race. He's going to come to the line. Final time of 37:36. Horst 39:43. So up next in the inner lane from Manitoba, it's Simon Koets, and in the outer lane from the Netherlands, Hanno Dahmen. As our ice crew will come to that starting line, patch up any little holes or cracks that may have formed. With 88 pairs of 500 meters, means a lot of blades crossing the ice, a lot of different skaters. It's a lot of opportunity for the ice to get chipped as we are slightly delayed here for an ice repair. Stay tuned, though. Simon Coots and Hanno Dahmen are up next. They'll be followed by Wojciech Krasnicki and Laura Marcotte. And then Hayden Mayor and Gibo Kui. It looks like we are ready to go. Simon Coots and Hanno Dahmen in pair 48 here this morning at the Olympic Oval finale. So Hanno Dahmen chasing a personal best of 37.7. See if he can do it here today. His opening split, 10.5, 10.7 for Coots. Simon Coots looking for a time of 37.8. So well-matched pair here. And it looks like Hanno Dahmen has carved out a big lead through 400 meters. 100 meters to go for Hanno Dahmen, driving to the line with big, long strides. His final time, 37.27. That's a personal best for him. Simon Coots, 38.5. Looks like we might have another minor pause here for ice repair. The referees and officials are always very cautious to make sure that the ice is in good condition when the skaters are going so fast. The last thing you want is for a skater's blade to stick into a crack in the ice and for them to go down going 50 kilometers an hour. 500 meter is the fastest distance and shortest distance in long track speed skating. That top speed is hit on that second corner. Sometimes tough for the person in the inner lane to hold that turn. As the starter blows his whistle, it looks like we're ready to go here for pair 49. This is Wojciech Krasnicki from Poland and Laura Marcotte from Quebec. As we see Wojciech Krasnicki carving a slight hole into the ice. It's funny to watch skaters do that right after the ice crew repairs it. But these guys are underway. Marcotte will take the opener. 10.5 is opener. 10.6 for Krasnicki. So Marcotte leading through 100 meters. He'll cross over in the backstretch. Krasnicki swinging only one arm. Little unusual in the 500. Usually skaters will swing both arms to try and drive the legs as fast as they can. So Krasnicki will take this race. His final time, 37.60. That's a personal best for him. Laura Marcotte, 38.7. So up next, pair 50, Hayden Mayor from Ontario in the inner lane, and Zibo Kui from China in the outer. Hayden Mayor, a short track skater who crossed over to long track this season. He's had a very good year. Made big improvements, particularly in the 5,000 meter in the longer distances. Both skaters tied on their openers, 10.92. So we'll see who has the faster lap here. Looks like Gibo Kui is gaining on Mayor, and he gets the last inner, so Gibo Kui is going to use that last inner to win this race. Kui to the line, his finishing time 37.92, 38.41 for Mayor. Up next, from Manitoba in the inner lane, it's Garrett Gledhill. And from the USA in the outer lane, it's Christian Gawick. So clean start in pair 51. This is Gawick and Gledhill. Gledhill taking that opener 10-6, 10-8 for Gawick. Gledhill with fast tempo in the corners. Skaters always try and find a balance between that fast tempo and pressure into the ice. As Gawick is making up ground here through 400 meters, he's going to come into the finish line. Tight race. 38.07 for Christian Gawick. He takes it over his pair, Garrett Gledhill. 38.15. So Garrett Gledhill right on his personal best. It's a good race for Gledhill. He'll be looking to beat that time on Saturday with the second 500 meters. As we get a false start in our 52nd pair. That was Robin Grubin and Bart Seffinga. The red flag is up, meaning that the false start was charged to Bart Seffinga in the outer lane. International pairing here, Norwegian versus a Dutch skater. So Bart Seffinga from Alberta is chasing a personal best of 37.8. So look for him to best that time here today. Robin Grubin's chasing a 38.0. So let's see if these two skaters can do it. As they're off cleanly in the second one. Grubin having a slight slip on that opener. That might cost him the opening split. Seffinga will take it 10-5. Actually, Grubin made up ground after that slip. So 10-5 for both skaters. Crossing over on the backstretch. It's Seffinga trying to get a good draft. It's a tight race between the Norwegian and the Dutch skater here with 100 meters to go. Robin Grubin with a slight advantage. His final time, 37.7, 37.9 for Grubin. So personal bests for Robin Grubin in that race. Bart Seffinga just missing his time. As we look at our next pair, this is John Sullivan from the United States in the inner lane. He's racing Jordan Bertignoli from Alberta in the outer. And a false start, 2 pairs in a row. White flag is up. John Sullivan jumping the gun. Reminder, there is now a warning to the field. The next skater to false start in this race will be disqualified. So Bertignoli will have to watch himself. John Sullivan can't false start again. The starting sequence for long track speed skating is go to the start, ready, and then the gun will go off. Once the starter says ready, the skaters crouch down into position. Once they reach their position, they must remain stable for around a second before the gun will blow. And if there's any twitching on the line, sometimes they will call a false start. Sullivan will take that opener, 10.97, Bertignolli, 11.06. John Sullivan with the faster opener. See if he can hold on through the lap. But Bertignolli's making up ground. It's a tight race here with meters left. Sullivan will take it. 38.56, 38.65 for Bertignolli. Moving on to our next pair. Another international pairing here in the inner lane. Takuya Tuju from Japan. He's racing Nicholas Turo from the United States. Turo got a great jump on that gun there. Tuju had a slow start. Let's see what their opening splits are. 10-2 for Nicholas Turo. Quick opener for him. Takuya Tuju, 10-6. So Nicholas Turo setting himself up for a good draft in this backstretch, but he's just going to blow right by instead. Into the last corner. Trying to hold that corner as he drifts into the outer lane. Takuya Tuju using those corners to come ahead to the finish line. His final time, 37.19, 37.84 for Turo. That was pair 54. We're now moving on to pair 55. At the start line, we have Steve Smykel from the United States and Thomas Van Dyke from Alberta. A little unusual to see both skaters wearing gloves. Gloves are not a required piece of equipment for long track speed skating. Skaters often try and wear the least amount possible. Fairly minimalist sport. Steve Smykel took the opener 10-5, 10-7 for Van Dyke. The 500 meter is a 1 1/4 lap race. The skaters do one inner lane corner, one outer lane corner. As Smykel will finish on that outer, 37.69 his final time. Van Dyke, 38.91. Steve Smykel with that 37 set a personal best. His first time under 38. It's a good time for him. This is pair 56. Ian Hansel from the United States in the inner lane. He's racing Matthew Laxton from Ontario in the outer. Hansel's opening time, 10:57, 10:72 for Laxton. Both skaters looking nice and long on this backstretch, crossing over. And Laxton making up ground through the lap here. Let's see if he can catch Hansel at the line. But Ian Hansel will finish ahead. His final time, 38.67, 38.93 for Laxton. So Ian Hansel right on his personal best. Good time for him. Always a good sign if you near or break your personal best on the first race of the weekend. As we look at our next pair, Graham Fish from Saskatchewan in the inner lane in Baowen Zhuan from China in the outer. Graham Fish, long distance skater. 500 really is not his specialty, as Zhuan will take that opener. 10-4, 11-0 for Fish. And Zhuan will go over the top of Graham Fish on that backstretch. Graham Fish is going to have to really drive to make up ground here, but it won't be enough, as Baowen Zhuang will take this right to the finish line. Zhuang will finish with a final time. 37-18, big personal best for him. 38-72 for Fish. Up next from Japan, it's Takehiro Ito in the inner lane and Jonah Utsubis from Ontario in the outer. You see Ito has a string around his waist. Some skaters will tie a string around their suits to put their thumb into so that their arm stays on their back, as Ito gets beat on that opener by Utsubis. Opening splits 10-5, 10-7. So Utsubis on a good race here. Good opener for him. Let's see if he can hold it right to the line. Ito trying to keep up. Jonah Utsubis, his final time, 37.96. That's a personal best for him. He looks excited. His first time under 38. Takehiro Ito also skating a PB. As we look at our next pair, this is Hamish Black from BC on the inner. He's racing Ethan Kepperin from the United States on the outer. We're seeing a string of Canadian long-distance skaters in these later pairs of the 500. Hamish Black, another one of these 5K, 10K guys. His opening split, 10-8. Same for his pair, Separin. And they'll cross over in the backstretch. Close race so far into the last corner. And they are neck and neck with 100 meters to go. Black and Separin to the line. 100th apart. Black took it 38-35, 38-36 for Ethan Separin. And I believe that was a personal best for Hamish Black. So this is our final pair before an ice flood. This is Vettel Strangeland from Norway in the inner lane. Tyler Hartlib from Alberta in the outer. Stungland, 10-7 his opener, 10-9 for Tyler Hartlib. So this is our final pair before a flood. The 500s will be back at 11:02 as Vettel Stangeland takes that race, 37-73, 38-71 for Tyler Hartlib. So that wraps up our 60th pair. There are 28 pairs remaining in this men's first 500 meter at the Oval Finale. We'll have a brief pause now for a Zamboni. And we will be back at 11:02 with more 500 meter action this morning.